Good morning, welcome back to the channel. I am Butch, your one-legged luthier. And today on the bench we have a crazy Schecter, flame top, Les Paul kind of style guitar. Gonna get some wiring and some pickup work done and some fret work done. My God, the fret work is looking really good already. So we're just gonna do a little level and a little dress. And then a setup. You know, we'll make sure the nut is good. We'll make sure the intonation is good. The action is nice and low. The action's already nice and low. So this guy knows what he wants, and he's got a big list. And but he likes these black pickup covers, and he needs them to go down on the pickup further and be soldered in so they're not microphonic. So we're going to do all that today. Let's get to it. I'll give you a flyover. Here we are. The Schecter Solo Custom. A beautiful flame on that. I know it's a veneer, but it's a real veneer. It's got some real nice chatoyance to it. Some real nice activity in that flame. And like I said, the fretwork is really good on this. The action is really low, so we're not going to have a lot to do as far as setup work. But here's where our problem is. Our pickups are not... The covers aren't seated on the pickups, and we need to do that. And also our customer wants the wiring to be changed so that this volume knob goes with this pickup, and that volume knob goes with this pickup. So we're gonna do all that. So let me get you in the holder and we'll start working. Okay, we're ready to rock. We're going to start by relieving the tension on the strings, and we're going to do it 1/6 at a time. These are locking tuners, so we're going to unlock these in a second and get them all off in one time. We're just going to tie them up in a knot. Leave them there like that for a minute. This is Tone Flow's locking hardware. So these strings are, the bridge is not coming off of there without us telling it to come off, which is a good thing. Now let's unlock these tuners. I'm not sure which brand these are right away, but some locking tuners will, you can unscrew the lock and it'll unscrew from the tuner. So you want to not unscrew you want to watch yourself and not unscrew your tuners. You know, so then we'll go and we'll just put them all back up. Just finger tight so they're not falling off and not rattling and making noise. That way we're not losing any parts either. You don't want to lose parts. I'm going to go ahead and take this truss rod cover off in anticipation of the new setup coming. This does not appear to be the correct screw for this. This appears to be quite oversized. So we might put a proper screw in there. Let's see what we have available. Okay, since we are rewiring this guitar, I think the best thing we can do, yeah, that's all Tone Pro's hardware. That's not coming off, unless we take it off. I think the best course of action is to start at the back, see what we got under the hood here, and go from there. We'll see if the pickups are connected down here or at the switch. It can be done both ways. So you don't know what you're getting into until you open the hood. A very tight cavity, so we'll be very careful when we use a razor blade just to lift it up. Oh man, we got some very tidy wiring in here, some very nice equipment, very nice pots. Okay. Everything is well done. Now let's take the pickups off and see where we're going with these. This is a very well constructed guitar. Just by handling it here in the last few minutes, it's really feeling very solid, very well built. And I'm sure this is one of their higher end Schecter material. And here's where we're going to find out where these pickups are connected, because we'll see where the wires go. And this wire goes to the cavity, so we're in good shape there. Not a lot of lead. This is a Schecter Pasadena Plus pickup. I'm sure it's their PAF style or something similar. You know, let's measure that out. Can we? No, I don't have the cord right here handy. We're going to put you on pause until we get these out. Okay, we're back at it. I got the amp on in the background. And what we're going to do is show you what the customer wanted. The customer wanted the bridge pickup to be the middle, and then the neck pickup to be the front knob. That's what the customer wanted. Absolutely reverse of a Strat situation, more like a traditional Gibson situation. So that's where we're at. We're done with the wiring. We're going to button that back up, and then we're going to get on these pickup covers. And then we'll get onto the setup. Okay, just wanted to show you under the hood before we button it all back up. We are definitely 100% nice and clean. We re-zip tied the extra wire. Because believe me, in this little tiny cavity, you want this extra wire in there, even though it looks a little haphazard, just because you need to bring everything out to work on it, and then tuck it back in and zip tie it together. Make it as neat as possible. And I'm going to show you a little tip here when we're buttoning everything up. A little tip here to not strip out your screws. What you end up doing, if you just go in there and, where did my screwdriver go? There it went. If you just go in there and go ham on this, you take the risk of stripping this out. So a little tip for you guys here when you're working on guitars: putting your screw back in. If it's going back in the same hole, go backwards. Go backwards first till you feel a little click. Feel that click? That's the threads seating. Now the screw just goes right back in, and you're not forcing it, and you're not stripping the wood out. I'll show you one more time. This is the Butchie's little one-legged screw tip. We're in. Go backwards. Click. That click means you're in the threads. And look at that, it just slides right back in. You're not forcing it. That's my tip to you guys today. Use it as you will. Okay. This is turning into a bit of a struggle. The pickup casings, these pickups were never meant to be covered. So when the customer ordered these covers to fit, they do fit the spacing of the pole pieces correctly, but they didn't want to fit down over the casing of the pickup. So it wasn't allowing the pickup to go into the casing like it should. So I actually had to sand down the corners of the actual pickup chassis to make them fit inside the casing. And now I've got some frog tape here on either side of the pickup covers and a pair of vice grips to close it down against the casing. And we're going to solder the casing to the pickup chassis. And that should stop most of the microphonic squeal. And it'll make it look good. The pole pieces will be coming up through the screws like they should, through the holes. So that's where we're at right now. I can show you a little bit what we're going to do. We're going to take our good old Radio Shack solder here, and we are going to heat this up until the solder is melting onto the chassis. And it's going to take a bit because it's got to heat up. And it's also going to loosen up the wax in there and hopefully free it up a little bit and flow it onto the pickup cover, which will also help it with the microphonic bit. Now here we go. We're not sticking to the chassis yet, but here we go. We're starting to. Once we start sticking to the chassis, then we can go ahead and melt our solder in there. And it is hot. It is hot. And we got to get that to melt onto that case. So we're going to flip this up. We're going to need two hands. So I'm going to flip this up and try to melt that solder into that cover. I don't know if you guys can see. The pickup casing and pickup chassis is hot enough, but the cover is not. So we have to flow that solder over onto the case. I'm just trying to coax the solder to go over to the casing. I believe we've got it. And it's a little messier than a factory job, but I think it'll work. That is hot. Yo! All right, we're going to continue on to the other side and then we'll do the next pickup. All right, here we go. We are back at it. Back at the Schecter Solo Custom 2. I'm going to get a little dust off this peg head. Just because we're here and we got the strings off. We've already polished the body up. The pickups covers are seated as best we're going to get them. And we had to modify this cover and modify this pickup chassis. So just to get them to fit correctly. But now they're soldered on and they're not microphonic. So we're really good on there. We have the wiring redone. So this is this and this is this. So now what we're going to do is check the neck. We're going to check it for level. And that is just a hair of back bow. So we want this to be in neutral position. Looks like a 4mm. Looks like a 4mm. Yes, it does. So to lessen the tension on the rod, you want righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So we're going to push this toward the TV. Just about a quarter of a turn. And we're going to check it. And we got no rock. We are dead neutral. That is awesome. So now we're going to break out our handy fret rocker and check the level of these frets because these are gorgeous. These don't need a lot of work. And I'm hoping that we're all good. We got a little rock on the second, little rock on the third. Little rock on the 10th. Little rock on the 12th. Little rock on the 14th. So there we are going to have to do a little bit of dress leveling on this. I believe these are stainless steel, the way they look. So what we're going to do is do the very light side of the leveling beam, the 400 side. We're going to lay some microfiber over this so we're not getting into the pickup. And we're not going to press down on this at all. The leveling beam, what we're going to do is just gently rub it across the top of the frets. And we're going to be concentrating more down here because obviously there's more frets per square inch down here than there is up top. Now normally I would just recrown the ones that are high, but these are there's more there's 4 or 5 of them that really need to be done. So this is gonna, let us see. Now I'm starting to see some markings. So what we're gonna do is very gently mark off the frets with a red Sharpie. And this will tell us exactly where we're having problem areas. It also means we're going to have to repolish these frets when we're done, because we're going to be taking some off. So, we've already done step 1 of our total setup, which is a adjustment of the truss rod. This is step 2, finding the frets that are out of level, and we found a few. So now we're going to identify those frets so that you can clearly see them. We should have a nice even movement across here and not leaving anything red. This is identifying the high frets and identifying the low frets. And now we should see what we're looking for. We're seeing high frets here, and a high fret right here in the end, So these are our problem frets. Now, normally you would go through and level them all completely flat, but what I'm going to do is use my crowning file, recrown all of them, make sure they have a nice crown on them, but it's also going to level these frets out, these ones that are high. We're just going to take a couple more swipes with the leveling beam, and then we're going to switch to the crowning file. You can hear a little thump, thump, thump every once in a while. That is a fret crying out for help, saying, hey, I'm high, get me in. Here we go. Put our solder away. Customer did this. He left me notes for his different guitars he's got me working on. This is awesome because I'm an old man and I'm like, oh, great. Well, here we are. We're doing the leveling of the frets. And we identified the ones. You can see where the marker is off some of them. That's where the leveling beam pointed out that they were a little high. So now we're just recrowning them and getting the geometry of the fret back. So we're going to go through all these and then we'll be back and we'll string it and we'll do the action and the intonation. Be right back.
To take this thing.
All right, here we go.
I think it works for all of us.
We're going to
on the show, and unfortunately,
get you a little more Freddy stuff here.
More sense to part this guitar out. This is
now
a project.
Right now, we're at the point where we need to
it actually goes back into place
use
well. You just need to glue it
the dreaded.
It's still playable as is, but it's
steel wool of destruction.
But we have really expensive vintage pickups in here. Very nice.
I just use a general Walmart steel wool.
Nobody wants to pay what this thing
go
is
over these frets.
So hopefully this will restore
just
some
to get the red marker off of them and any schmutz left over from the filing.
Anyway. So neck pickup.
Plus, it's also polishing your fretboard a little bit.
Those are 1982.
Let me turn off Trogley. Sorry.
The bridge is the exact.
I was watching Trogley. And just gets a nice sheen on the fret and gets it ready to accept the metal polish. The metal polish I use is a Mother's brand mag wheel polish, and it works great on these frets and it makes them really shiny. I use a small Amazon bought handheld cordless Dremel tool. Not a Dremel, of course. It's just I guess what you just say a rotary tool is the generic term. Well, here we go. We got all the red off the frets, off the red marker. These frets were done incredibly. The ends are balled up nice. So there's no need to use the beveling file. There's no need to use the end dress file. These are very nicely done. No rag snag. And now we're gonna polish them up. Where is my polish? There it is. It's over here. The polish, like I said, is the mother's mag wheel and an aluminum polish. And we're just going to put a little sheen right on top of each fret. And don't worry, if we get it on the fretboard, it comes right off. And we just have to be careful with the polisher. I would tape this off, but these are very high frets, so I don't think I'm gonna mar up the fretboard. If I do hit it with the polisher, I'll just rub it back out with a little steel wool and it'll be fine. And there we go with the polish. Come on now. There we go. Get out our polisher. This is a, like I said, a Amazon Basics mini grinder, rotary tool, cordless. Look how good that fret looks. Brings it to a mirror finish. Brings the fret to a mirror finish. And the smoother your frets, the smoother your guitar plays. It's simple as that. I've seen brand new guitars that's so scratchy you feel like you're bending your string on sandpaper. So this is a step that the guitar factories don't do, and it really makes them gorgeous. I mean, as you can see, they're like mirrors. So I'm gonna go through the rest of these frets, and we'll come back when we're strung. Okay, our customer is we're all ready to string up. Customer provided us with some Diodarios, and we're going to put the Diodario strings on here. And I am very happy to report that this guitar is just phenomenal. As I was polishing the frets, I discovered this thing has a compensated nut. This thing is going to play in tune better than any Les Paul in existence. So, being that it has better hardware and hold on. Again, I apologize for the phone call. Here we go. We're just gonna run the string through the tuner. We already have the tuner loosened up. The lock clamp for the tuner is loosened up. Apparently not loose enough. There we go. And like I said, we're just gonna run a little slack in it. Put a bend in it. And tighten it up. And of course my bend moved. We'll tighten that up. Again, just finger tight. Don't ever put a wrench or a pair of pliers or anything on those locking tuners, because they will never loosen up and you will ruin them and you'll have to replace them. There's two. We'll pause again. We'll come back when it's all done, it will do the intonation and the action, which is wow. This thing is amazing. Very nice Schecter. I know it's not one of their lower models. It is, in fact, a Diamond series, it says on the headstock. This is a nice guitar. Locking tuners, compensated nut, Tone Pros hardware. I mean, this is really nice. I really like the look of these covers. I don't like the fact that they're a pain in the absolute butt to get on and properly mount. But they do really look nice. And I like the looks that my customer went for here. It really looks good. And all right, we'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Yeah, I've got the bridge out. The saddles, let me see here. There we go. The saddles are at their maximum, and the guitar is still flat with intonation. So we have to rotate the bridge around so that the saddles have more travel. Now, it is a point of controversy where, okay, the screw's going this way or the screw's going that way. To me, it doesn't matter as long as I can get the guitar to play correctly. And right now, we're at maximum travel, and we're still flat at 12th fret. So we have to swap this around this way and then adjust from there. So that's what we're in the process of doing. I'm going to put it in a general sense, and then we're going to put it back on, and I'll come back to you guys, and we'll do the intonation. Okay, we've got our bridge reinstalled. It's reversed, so the saddles have the flat side toward the neck, which will allow us to have a little more travel. The general intonation that I gave it is still flat because I didn't want to go too far. So now we have to, whoop, wrong direction. We have to bring this saddle closer to the neck. And why the guitar manufacturers don't make those with Phillips heads so the screwdriver actually stays on the screw is beyond me. Come on. I have to lube that nut a little bit. A little lube on it. It's grabbing when you go low. There we go. Still just a hair flat, but it's within 5 cents, but we can move it forward a little bit. We can move it. Dead on. So we're going to go through and adjust the rest of the other ones. And we'll come back and I didn't even check it because I know it's going to be flat. To sharpen, you need to have less room between your 12th fret and your moving it the wrong way. There we go. Trying to do this without my hand in the way so you guys can see it. Come on, get in there. All right. I'm going to try to hold it there. And of course not. Like I said, I wish the manufacturers had realized that we need a Phillips head screw on these. So that the screwdriver doesn't keep sliding out. We need to have this a little bit farther forward than the low E saddle. A couple thousandths of an inch. I believe it's going to be right there. Just had a big glitch here in the power. Everything kind of went out for a second. Dead on. All right. So we know we're in the ballpark. I'm gonna let you guys go. We're gonna come back. I'll have all these done, and we'll be ready for the tone test. Okay. Okay, we're all done with my client's Solo Custom 2 Schecter. And we've got the black pickup covers, which were an absolute nightmare to install. We got them installed. We had to modify the pickups. We had to modify the covers. We had to rewire everything. It was crazy. Because we were trying to get this cover on this pickup. We melted leads. We had to redo the leads on the pickup. It was crazy. But we finally got it all sorted out. The covers are actually on, and they're not microphonic. Too bad. We got the tones here, and I just wanted to. We got it all set up. We had to reverse the bridge because the bridge was out of adjustment and it was out of room. So we had to make more room. So we had to reverse the bridge. And Yes, it will chug. All right. That's the conclusion video for the Schecter Solo Custom 2. And what a beautiful guitar. Fretwork is immaculate. I will recommend, though, that nobody ever try to put covers on pickups that didn't have them to begin with. What a nightmare. If you want covered pickups, buy them. If they come with covers to begin with, cool. But these were a nightmare. And I don't think I'll ever tackle that again. And if somebody says, hey, can you put covers on my pickups? I'm going to tell them, no. But you guys be good. Have a great weekend. Stay weird. And go shop your great local suppliers in Northeast Music Center and Anthony Turco Guitar Works and Chris Rashford from Pristine Auctions. You're in the market for a vintage instrument. There's nobody around here that knows vintage better than Chris. So check them out. And if you need your guitar work done, contact me at 570-468-9351. And that's my phone number. And you'll get the Fat Cat from Fat Cat Guitars. See ya.